A lot of you cared, but just not enough. Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss very sensitive topic which is Odisha train accident. So before moving into the points of discussion, first of all we will discuss the previous day MCQ. So the question was, what was the theme of BRICS Summit 2023? What is the theme? It is upcoming. So your answer is C, which is BRICS and Africa Partnership for Mutually Accelerated Growth, Sustainable Development and Inclusive Multilateralism. So this is the answer. Moving to the points of discussion. First of all, we will discuss the news and then how crash may have happened. Then what is the root cause? What is the Kavach system? Practice question for prelims. And today we are going to discuss case study of ethics. So this will be new in this series. Moving ahead. What is the news? So what happened in past couple of days, what we have seen that, the country has witnessed one of the worst train tragedies in the whole century. And these kind of tragedy would not have happened if we would have implemented better facilities in the railway tracks. So in the Balasore district of Odisha, what happened that three trains collided, and in that accident nearly 300 people died and more than 1000 people have injured. So this is the accident we have witnessed in the past couple of days. So this is the news. Moving to the how crash may have happened. So there is three trains in the picture. First train is goods train, Coromandel Express and Howrah Superfast Express. And where this thing has happened? So it has happened in Bahanga Bazaar of Odisha railway station, which is. So what happened that goods train was already stationed at the station, and Coromandel Express, which was going to the south, and the Howrah Express, which was going to the north, and it was reaching to the Howrah, and Coromandel Express was going to the Chennai. And what happened that Coromandel Express hit the goods train, and after the hitting, the derailed coaches of Coromandel Express fell on the Howrah Superfast Express. So in this way all three trains have collided. So and among all these things, and what happened in this case that nearly 300 people have died and more than 1000 people have injured in this case. So how this thing has happened? Because there is four lines on the Bahanga Bazaar railway station, and on 1 and 2 the goods trains are parked, and 3 and 4 are carrying the passenger trains. So due to lack of signal and what are the other reason, it's still under inquiry that how Coromandel Express has derailed from its platform and it has hit the goods train. So this is the incidents which happened on that day. Moving ahead. What is the root cause? So the cause is still under inquiry, but the Union Minister of Railway Ashwini Vaishnaw has said that perhaps someone made a change to the point machine. So what is point machine here? So point machine is an electronic device which operates and control the movement of the train, and by switching and by controlling the points we can move the trains in a desired direction. So this is the device. So because of the failure of this device and change in this device, the trains have collided. It is expected and maybe the cause of this tragedy, but the root cause is still under the inquiry. And so many speculations are also that maybe it's a human error, and people are also saying that maybe it's a matter of sabotage. It means that someone has forcefully and has done this thing. So it is still under the inquiry, and the railway minister has said that if any person or if he or she will be found in the guilty, then they will be punished for this thing, and if it's matter of sabotage and human error, then they will definitely going to be punished. Moving ahead, and so what we have analyzed here that the root cause is still under the inquiry. We have not found out that what happened and what was the exact cause that this kind of situation and disaster happened. Moving ahead. There is also a question in the minds of citizens that the driver could have saved the life of the people. But this is here the situation is very different from the roadways. In the roadways, if you can put emergency brakes, maybe your vehicle will stop. But here it is a train, and it carries huge massage of steel and powerful engines also. And the train was in full speed, more than of 100 kilometer per hour. So if the driver could have used the emergency brakes, maybe it will take few minutes or maybe more than minutes to stop the train, and till the time the train had already derailed from the platform. So this had happened in the train case. In this situation you cannot use emergency brakes at a time. So this is very difficult situation in the railway. Moving ahead, Kavach system. Since this incidents had happened, the Kavach system is in news because last year this thing has been launched and it has been also tried. So many people are also asking that why this is not used on that railway track. So first of all, we will know that what is the Kavach system. So Kavach system is an automatic train protection system which is indigenously developed, means that it has been developed in India only. And which of the following organization has developed it? Research, Design and Standards Organization. This is very important from prelims point of view, so you need to remember this organization in collaboration with Indian industry. And what was the objective of this Kavach system? For the safety in train operation across the Indian Railways. So many people are saying that, if this thing could be applied on that track, maybe we could have saved many lives. So, moving to the features of the Kavach system. So, what are the features of the Kavach system? Prevention of signal passing at danger, continuous update of movement authority with display of signal aspects in driver, machine interface, automatic braking for prevention of overspeeding. We have already discussed that the driver could not use the brake suddenly, because if it has used the brake for the emergency thing, so maybe it will take few times to stop. So in this system there is automatic braking in the emergency time, and auto whistling when there is a cross of gates. So maybe if two trains are moving the same direction or in a opposite direction and there is a cross of gates, then there is a provision of auto whistling. And prevention of collision between two locomotive equipments. Other thing is SOS messages. There are other system also through which we can send the messages in railway, but this is very quick. And the last thing is centralized live monitoring, means if all these stations, all the railways are going in which direction, if some railways had diverted routes and other things are happening, and few trains have changed their route, and if there is any accident or something like happened, so these kind of facility would be available in this system. But unfortunately this system is not available on that track, and that is the reason we could not have saved many lives. So this is a matter of question that after launching of this scheme more than a year, why this thing has been not implemented in that area. So this is a matter of huge debate and discussion. So moving to the practice question for prelims. So before moving to this question, you need to think that what are the way forward for this thing, that in which manner we could have saved such accidents. And here so many question also can come from the disaster management, because this is a disaster thing. And there will be also a clash that it is a man-made or it is a natural. So most of the what are the signals are showing, and what are the evidence we have collected so far, it can be seen that it is more of like a human error. And it is not a matter of sabotage, but it is definitely a human error, because if such things are happening, so if there will be immediate message sent to the Howrah Express, then maybe the train could have stopped earlier and it could have prevented from the collision, and maybe we can have saved many lives. So this is the problem. So this is the question for today's lecture. Your question is, consider the following statement regarding Kavach, because Kavach has been discussed a lot. So your first statement is, it prevents train accident. It is world's cheapest automatic train collision protection system, automatic braking for prevention of overspeeding. So you have to find out that these statements are correct or not, and here are your options. Here they are asking not correct, so you have to always follow the instruction of the question. Sometimes they ask correct, sometimes they ask not correct, and your options are only one, only two, all three, and none. So you have to answer this in the comment section. Moving to the mains part. So in today's lecture, we will discuss the case study, because these kind of accidents can come in the ethics paper. So you have to prepare for the ethics as well. So in brief, I am telling you what is the case study. So here is a traffic police officer, and what is happening in his area, that he saw three people riding a motorcycle without helmet and jumping red signals. And on stopping them, one of the three people had made accident. And what happened, that one another people is helping that person and carrying that person to the hospital. But what you have find out in mid between, that the person has no helmet, the driver has no helmet, and not even the driving license. So this is huge violation of Motor Vehicles Act. So what you have to do here, that there is an ethical dilemma in front of you, that the person has helped another person to reach to the hospital, and he has saved a life. But there is a constant pressure from your senior that you have to implement this act, Motor Vehicles Act, very strictly, and you have to follow this rule. So in this situation, what you will do? So there is an ethical dilemma in front of you, that whether you will find that person or not, because he has saved life also. So in that matter, what you will do? So your questions are, in for this case, what are the ethical issues involved and the options available to you in such a situation, and also suggest a course of action you would like to follow. So for this thing, what you have to first do, that first you have to write about what the above case pertains to, and after that you have to make a flow chart like this. Here you have to do stakeholder, you have to write stakeholder's name, and then you have to write who are the stakeholders. First, you as a traffic police officer, me, here you will write, and the society, the victim, driver, senior police officers. And you have to make diagram like this, that this is the diagram for the stakeholders. And after that, what you have to do, that they are asking what are the ethical issues involved. So first you will write that above case pertains to the violation of Motor Vehicle Act, and in such situation you have to follow your duty, as well as you have to also see the rights of the person, not just right and their condition. And because the person is a wage laborer here, and he could not pay huge fine because he has not even driving license and helmet also. So in such situation, what you have to do, so first you have to make this diagram as a stakeholder, and you have to write what the above case pertains to, and then you have to find out ethical issues. Your ethical issues are duty versus, what you can say, kindness, that you have to become dutiful or kind, because you cannot let a person who has violated a act or violated a rule. So this is also a matter of livelihood and your duty, because if person is daily wage laborer, how he can give such huge fine? And here you are an officer, and you have to also follow your duty. So this is the situation of livelihood versus duty. And also the poor versus rich also. So many dilemmas you have. And but you have to also take care that rules are every same for everyone, and the constitution applies that equality before law and equal protection of the law. So everyone is equal in the eyes of law. So you have to follow this thing also. So here you have 2-3 options. First, you will punish the person and you will take huge fine from that person, that you have violated the Motor Vehicles Act, and you have to give the fine. And second thing, that you have to also consider that the person has saved someone's life. So you have to you will leave the person ki, okay, this time you have prevented a life, so your fee could be waived. And the third is that you have to find an alternative thing for this. So in this case you have to give few consideration for that person, because the in emergency he has violated the rule. So you have to give strict warning to the person that whenever you are coming on the roads, so you have to follow all these instruction under the motor vehicles act. And the second thing, you have to also look for the loopholes, whatever the loopholes we have, because if the ambulance would be present there, then the person would have not to go to the hospital without helmet. So you have to make sure that these kind of facilities should be available on the roads, and people should not violate the rules. So this is the options you have. So you will choose the third option, you will find an alternative, you will warn the person that these kind of things should not be allowed, and you have to make alternative things like availability of the ambulances, medicine, first aid things. So these kind of things should be available on the roads and easy accessible to any person. And then you have to write this would be your course of action. And after course of action, in the conclusion part, you have to justify that why you have taken this course. So first of all, you will write that in order to prevent someone's life, this thing should be required, that here life is more important than any act. On the other hand, you should not also forget the act also. So here act is also thing, but first humanity and the life is more important than anything. And then you have to make alternative, so that like you have to find out that why ambulance is not there, why first aid is not there. So you will find out the loopholes and you will correct it. That problem is with us also, administration also, because these kind of facilities would have been provided by the administration. Maybe the citizens should not take such steps. So these kind of things are also available. And your most justification would be that for me, life is more important than duty, and while on duty I always try to save the life. So here duty has become the secondary, but life is more important. But I have not forgotten the duty also, and I have warned that person that you have to consider all these rules. So this is the best and medium way to follow this, solve this case. And here you can also quote the Buddha, that he always said that medium path should be followed in any emergency situation. So if you will use such quotes in your answer, then your answer will become more better and it will look more nicer. So that's it for today's lecture. If you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section. And this is the online mains course for Drishti. If anybody is interested in this course, they can call on this number, and they can also visit the Drishti website.